You know that you're a generational chain breaker. You're ready to liberate yourself from past limitations and perspectives to manifest and quantum leap into your highest potential on your highest timeline. But sometimes you need a little support on your journey. If you're ready to live an abundant life, grounded and secure in your body and in the real world, join us here to expand your perspective and learn new tools. I'm your host, Becky, a Reiki master, author, healing hairstylist, and life coach, and this is the Everyday Healing Podcast. Hello, babes, and welcome back to Everyday Healing. Oh my gosh, I am so freaking grateful to have you here. When I first started this podcast, I never would have imagined that it would have this many downloads and be listened to in 37 different countries around the world. And I just really wanted to take this moment to thank each and every one of you for landing here, for listening, and really just diving into my little pocket of the internet. It seriously means so much to me. And it would also mean so much to me if you would leave the podcast a rating and review to help it reach even more people around the world. And if you do feel called to, in your review, just leave what has touched you most, what episode you connected with the most, or even what topic is just your favorite to listen to or really sparked something or shifted a perspective within you, so that I'll know what you'd love to hear more of moving forward. Thank you. This past little while for me has literally been the most expansive and transformative short few months of my entire life. You know those moments of life where you go through this pocket and you just learn and you grow so much that you just keep coming out the other side going, oh my gosh, how is this happening? How is this my real life? And we just learn so much through each and every experience. And I have created so many incredible micro programs going through this experience because I've been going through them in real time. But it's really just kind of had me reflecting on the truth that so many of us can experience the exact same thing and have a completely different perspective of it after we've gone through it. And we know this, right? Like if we look at times in history, there are so many different perspectives and sides and versions. If we even just look at the upbringing, if it was the exact same scenario for two siblings being raised in the same household with the same parents, with the same experiences, they can both have very different outlooks or perspectives on that same experience. So I really think that it's just important for us to remember that life really is what we make of it. And we really are in control of so much more than we know and so much more than we like to admit, because it's so much easier to fall into the victim mindset, to fall into that state of lack and to blame anything outside of us and to really just claim that life is happening to us. And that is totally fine if you want to choose to live that way. And if I'm totally honest, I think most people actually do. However, it is so much more beautiful and inspiring and empowering to choose to see life as something that happens for you, to see each opportunity or hurdle or even just any experience as something that is happening for you, that you are able to learn from, that you're able to grow from, that is here to expand you. I like to talk about these like pockets of expansion where we're in this like really sticky, icky moment in time where we're like spiraling into lack, or we're questioning ourselves, or maybe even we're questioning everything. And that is one of those moments where when you feel like you're being really dragged down, it's remembering that the further down you are, the more room you have to learn and grow and expand from that. As long as you take ownership and responsibility for yourself, for your life in that moment of how is this happening for me? What is it trying to show me? How can I learn from this? And I know that it can be really hard to shift your mindset into a place where it can accept this, right? But a lot of that is also being able to drop down out of your head and come into your body, into like, what is true for me in this exact moment? What is actually 100% true for me? What's true? My heart is beating. There's air moving in and out of my lungs. Maybe can I come into that breath? Can I feel into my body? And then even just like tapping into some other other truths that you know, how strong you are, all of the things that you've been through in the past that have built that strength, how much you actually deeply trust yourself, all of the times that you have already proven yourself to know more than anyone else about you or about your life choices. And yes, I could go on about this, but I feel like it's a little repetitive. But what I mostly want to remind you in this point in time is to remember that if you're in one of those stages or phases of life, maybe a season where the dots just aren't connecting, where you're like, I don't know where this is taking me, I don't know what is happening or where I'm going, allow yourself to trust and continue to take action in the way that best supports you and is in alignment with the identity of the person who wants to be where you're going or with the outcomes that you are after, instead of showing up with the habits and the actions of the person who has the identity of literally everything you do not want to be, right? You don't want to be the person that continues to spiral and lack. So don't fuel the habits and the thoughts and the beliefs of the person who falls into that. Like, how can you just shift small, even little micro moments of your day or catch tiny little habits? How can you even just change one habit maybe this week or over the next few weeks and really commit to changing that one habit that you know is going to keep you on the trajectory of keeping you out of that lack, keeping you in your sense of self-trust? If you've been an avid listener here, you know that I am just over 6 months pregnant and that we were not trying, that this was not a part of our plan, but this was a part of the bigger plan, is how I like to see it. And at the time, of course, I spiraled. And of course, there were moments on this journey that made absolutely no sense. And then when I look back to how everything trickled into place, like the mentors that I hired before this happened and the changes that took place in my business and things that changed in our personal life and weird little random conversations that we had were all dots that did not make sense at the time, that then all connected to be a part of this beautiful freaking journey of, oh, okay, we're growing a human and bringing a new soul into the world. And there are going to be so many times on your journey where you're going through one of those instances that doesn't make sense, but the dots are always connecting. You just have no idea at what point it's going to click for you that, oh, that needed to happen for that to happen, for that to happen. And oh my God, now I'm here. But really, life is always happening for us, even in the moments where things seem really heavy or really hard, because I really do truly believe that we have soul contracts when we come here. We have things that our soul just really wants to learn that maybe it didn't get to learn the last time, or that it wants to just do differently this time around. And every single one of those pockets of learning is something that you get to experience as a soul in a human body. You are here to experience the contrast of emotions. You're not here to just be all love and light all of the time, because that is what you are when you leave this body. You're here to experience the contrast of both so that you can really feel how deeply grateful you are for all of the abundance that's available to you, because you've fallen and spiraled so deep into that feeling of lack before. Or just maybe whatever your upbringing looks like. Let's say maybe you experienced a deep level of abandonment, and healing through that abandonment is what gives you the gift of being able to experience deep, unconditional, loving connections. And also remembering that every time you learn through one of these things, you are healing that for all of the generations before you, for your ancestors, for your parents, for your children moving forward, but also as part of the experience that your soul is here to have in this freaking beautiful lifetime. So my invitation that I want to leave you with today is, what is some sort of instance or circumstance that is taking part in your life right now that you have been looking at as happening to you, that maybe has been spiraling you into a victim mentality or into a lack mindset? And how can you reframe that for yourself to see how it's happening for you? Or how can you even just allow yourself to open up with curiosity as to, how is this happening for me? Because remember, you don't have to have it all figured out, but you can allow yourself to enter each day and each moment with an open heart and an open mind, open to limitless possibilities of, maybe there is a possibility that this is happening for me and that there's a gift hidden inside of it for me if I allow myself to enter it with an open heart and open mind and move through it in the way that I am meant to move through it. Because remember, It is an invitation. Every time we go through one of these hurdles, it really is an invitation for us to either address a deep, deep wound or shadow that's coming up, or maybe even just an old layer or fragment of something that we've already worked through that we're ready to work through in a new way and to allow it to be easier. Sometimes when we've done a lot of healing work, it can be really easy actually to spiral into a tiny little layer of something that's coming up and make a big freaking story around it of like, oh, I thought I healed this and like not maybe none of this actually worked and none of the things that I've done work or count or whatever the stories are. And it really is just bringing yourself back into your power of how much of a badass you are, how powerful you are, how capable you are of moving through such harder things than this. And that is the proof for you that you have done that. And this coming up in a new little layer has nothing to do with discounting or like totally kiboshing everything you've already done. It's just another layer that you're here to work through, and you can do that easily. It can actually be your reminder of how easily you can pull yourself back into your power now. Of, oh, maybe this used to spiral me for weeks or even a month, and I would be stuck in it and just living in that low frequency energy, and like, oh wow, look at, I actually caught this in 3 days and I only lived in that energy for 3 days, and now I've realized that doesn't serve me, and I know how to lean on my tools and pull myself back out. I know that I am a strong badass and that I can bring myself back into my energy and out of my head into my body, reconnect with myself, and know that I have freaking got this. So this is your reminder that you have got this. You've got this. Allow yourself to get out of your head, stop making up the stories, and come back into the truth of your freaking heart center. So much freaking love to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It is always such a pleasure to hold this space for you, and I will see you on